Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Monday, September 12th. In this episode, we'll review the rounds of fixtures for the Champions League, get the lowdown on where we are with the Premier League fixtures after the death of Her Majesty the Queen, Elizabeth II, Regina. But first, Mike, we're going to Italy because we had to watch something. What the hell went on at Salernitana versus Juve? It was bonkers.
4 goals, 3 red cards. It was Battle of the Bridge-esque, but everybody basically just kind of grabbed their fingers and started waving them at each other.
It was nuts. I watched it, by the way.
Yeah. My
Second
boys,
half,
you were giving me. I
was giving you the updates as we were going.
Because I have score notifications for them, and so I'm getting texts from you, and I'm getting red card. What the hell's going on here?
First of all, I turned it on and I couldn't tell who was who because Juve were wearing these purple abomination kits, and Salernitana were wearing white and sort of have some color on them. So I was like, oh, wow, Juve are playing really well. But then I realized that it was Salernitana playing attacking football going back and forth.
It seems that they're good for like one, and as long as they'll stay up, may it last forever. They're good for like one over-the-hill veteran signing a year. Last year was Frank Ribery. He's gone now.
Piatek.
There's 2, Piatek and the first goal scorer, Antonio Candreva.
Oh, right, Candreva.
So
famous scorer of amazing goals, but not a great goal scorer.
But he scored one with his dick in this game.
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
They were trying to call it a handball.
The box. Whoever it was, I forget.
He fucking dusted
Weston McKennie.
Yes,
and well,
Quadrado.
So Quadrado made the bad move to kind of free him.
Right.
McKennie tried to square him up and just couldn't do anything. He rockets a ball across, and it hits the guy right in the junk and goes in 1-0 to the good guys.
The old Dick goal.
Yeah, the old Dick goal. They go up 2 on a penalty later on. Piatek, I believe, scores that. And
that was a handball that they went to VAR to review.
Oh, it was totally a handball. Yeah. But from then on, Juve really put the screws to them.
Second half,
they get one back. And so just to give you the sequence of events, they're doing everything but getting the equalizer, right? So we go into 4 minutes of stoppage time, and they finally get a breakthrough, and it's just one of those penalties that born out of fatigue, and you're like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he steps his – I thought they were calling it for him stepping on the foot, but he steps his foot on the ground, and then the guy goes over it. So
very Italian.
It's a call. Okay, I get it.
It's a penalty. You look at it and you go, come on, man. Really? Not like this.
Okay.
And so long-time bastard Giorgio
Bonucci misses it.
Was it Chiellini or Bonucci?
No, it's Bonucci. Chiellini's in LAFC.
Oh, that's right.
It's Bonucci. Bonucci misses it, but then scores his own rebound, and he's all fired up.
It was a good save, too.
It was a good save, but he didn't quite
the
get it away.
Salernitana goalkeeper was pretty shaky the whole day.
He looked shaky.
But it was just a good save on a penalty in the 94th minute, and Bonucci puts in the rebound, and you're like, fuck. But there's still 2 minutes left in the game, and they're just gung-ho for a winner.
Yes.
And again, the keeper's shaky. He parries a shot he probably should have caught. It goes out for a corner. And who was it? Milik, right? I think
maybe he may have come off already. It was someone else.
No, he didn't. He didn't because he had a yellow card in the 83rd minute, and he scores. It's a near post corner, and he just fizzes it into the far corner. It was fantastic, really well done. And he takes his shirt off. Second yellow, red card. He's looking at it. I don't give a shit. Whatever. He's in the locker room. All of a sudden, knock on the referee's door. VAR decides to get involved. And who wouldn't you know it? That bastard Bonucci is offside. Now, he's offside, and he makes an attempt to play the ball. But the argument that they're making is that he's in the line of the goalkeeper and interfering with the goalkeeper's ability to stop the ball. There's my last name is Salerno. I am rooting for Salernitana, and I don't think anybody's not aware of that at this point, right? This call was terrible.
It's terrible.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
First of all,
he wasn't even close.
By the way, he's not even offside. The VAR photo shows the box and all the players in the line. What you don't see is that the guy who took the corner played Bonucci onside by a foot.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even realize that.
Yes, that's the thing that came out later on. Is that he's not even offside. He's not offside by a mile.
You bastards. So Quadrado
it's incompetence.
So while this is happening, right, Quadrado starts fighting with Federico Fazio, who is Salernitana's captain, of a Tottenham alum, who I love now.
There's a brawl, by the way, going on.
There's a full-on fracas. Ref is trying to get this out of it. He sends off Quadrado. He sends off Fazio. They say no goal. It pops off again. He sends off Allegri, and it ends 2-2.
Yes.
And
little note about the referee, 29 years old, only his 6th game ever.
Oh, my God. He might have to retire with 6 games then.
The thing is like if you know about Italian football and you know about Juve, this just everything about it was just like this penalties match fixie. This is match like the whole thing was just bizarre. Like, what is happening?
What? They deserve nothing but to die, and they got it.
And by the way, what I did notice, and I was trying to sort of get involved with some of the Calcio scene. Juve Stadium was not full.
No, I saw that.
That was weird.
It wasn't just not full.
The good seats were empty.
The good seats were empty. It was like 40% full.
Yeah, the Salernitana end was full.
Yeah, of course it was. Our boys show up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna miss a trip to Turin. No way.
Yeah.
They live on the Amalfi Coast. They got to go to the shit part of Italy. No problem. No, they were there.
I mean, that is our trip to Salernitana, and this is really a shout out to our super fan Angela, who stays and listens to the whole podcast and her wonderful boys from Napoli, and actually quotes back the terrible parts of our podcast that happened at the end. That was very exciting.
I love Angela. She's wonderful.
That she was there.
And she is a Napoli supporter. She did ask us to talk a little bit more about Serie A. I did have to get into my boys being top half of the table. Top half of the table. How about that?
I believe Napoli are top of the league.
But Napoli, after kicking the shit out of Liverpool last week, are top of the table on goal difference right now with Atalanta and Milan. Whew. I mean, and they look.
Yeah, they're all on 14 with Udinese on 13.
And Udinese came in out of nowhere too. They were relegation fodder last year. Roma, Inter, Milan Milan's up there, but like, and granted it's early, but this is generally a league where you're like, okay, one of Inter, Milan, or Juve is comfortably leading, with Napoli kind of nipping at their heels. But they're on another plane this year, and they actually did come out, and there was, I forget who it was. I think it was like their sporting director was criticizing Tanguy Ndombele, who we've said many times in the show is the best player in the field, and he's just the laziest as well. But he's playing for Napoli now. He's doing well. And I think that they could take Serie A this year. So we'll see.
It would be amazing. It would be a huge deal. A huge deal. So we do have to go talk to some of our super fans. We asked people to rate and review the show, and we appreciate everyone who's done. We got two really negative reviews, which was very exciting. So thank you guys for giving us really negative reviews. We do the show for you. It starts with hate, and it'll become love. Or it starts with love, and it'll become hate. If you didn't give any reviews, it means you don't care. So thanks for the reviews. We appreciate the 1 stars, and hopefully people will give us 5 stars to counteract your negative action. If you don't like the show, tell someone how much you hate it. Be like, this show's terrible, right?
These fucking idiots.
We are
Shove it up your urethra. Just right in there. Anyway.
So it's not called Squeaky Bum Time for no reason.
Yeah,
it's
we're not
nerve-wracking. And sometimes you might say things that are off the rails.
Sometimes we will stay on the rails. Most of the time we'll go off the rails. That's the point of the show. If you don't like it, don't let the door hit you on your fat fucking ass on your way out. Thanks for coming in. Anyway, what we've got
is tell people how much you hate it so that they listen and hate listening.
Fuck them. So
I'll take hate listening.
I don't know what to make. Yeah, the schedule of what has become of the mourning period of Her Majesty, right? Now, we talked about a little bit on the last show, and
we're American. We don't get it.
No, and I was telling you, I was like, I deference is the word I would use, right? A couple days go by, a hell of a lot of takes come out, and I kind of am. Peter Crouch had the one that I agree with the most, and he goes, I understand why we're not playing this weekend. But wouldn't it be better if you had a black armband, the teams at midfield or at the center circle, the whole minute of remembrance, the clapping, play the national anthem, make a show of it. Have this is the thing that distinguishes England from the rest of the, or used to distinguish England from the rest of the world for so many years, is the monarchy and how and how majestic all of it was, right?
Yeah.
And I found myself agreeing. I think that would have been the most fitting tribute. Now, many people are genuinely mourning this, and I could not even understand that. And I'm not saying that I'm ridiculing you. I'm saying that you want to mourn however you feel is right. God bless you.
I mean, it's
seriously.
just like it's like a thing. Like, we don't get it. It's like there is a person who embodies the country. It'd be like someone killed the American eagle. That was the American eagle that's always shows up everywhere. I'm like, they killed the eagle. What do we do? She's the eagle.
I mean, I think the closest the U.S. could ever have said they came to this was JFK. Yeah, and by the way,
they did cancel the games.
Right, but that was the thing. She's 96.
I know.
If JFK was 96, they'd be like, man, that's fucking terrible. What a great patriot he was.
How many illegitimate children did he have?
But anyway, so we canceled all the games this weekend.
But we're going to go with this weekend. We are going to go, but there are rules on who's being played.
Yeah. And so I'm familiar with why, and I didn't even realize it. When you're looking at the pricing of games, when you're over there are 3 tiers of game. And a lot of the European games are in the top tier, category A, right? And how I always took this to mean, and it was direct consumer facing, was this price is elevated from category B and C, which obviously are lower tier games. So your rivalry matches, your derbies, and higher end competition, right? So Spurs City, for example, that's a category A game, not necessarily because they're rivals, but because from Spurs' point of view, that is an opponent that, they're squeezing a little bit of capitalism in there, right? Like, we can get you to pay a little bit more to see them play City, or we can get you a little bit more to Arsenal or Chelsea, which are obviously big rivalries. But what I didn't realize was that there is a corresponding color coding system, if you will, for the security measures in the ground. And so, you started to hear a lot about how the London clubs this weekend are going to struggle with security issues and policing, because there's so much policing that is required at the Queen's funeral and transporting the body and all that. Okay, fine. But Man United and Leeds are postponed. And you go, well, what, huh? I'm sorry, what? Why are we doing that? And it comes down to, United and Leeds is a derby. There is a heightened requirement for police. It's a category A security level game. And you didn't really think about that. And so I had never really made that distinction before. And so that game's postponed. Chelsea and Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, not at Anfield, by the way, is postponed.
It probably would have been postponed at Anfield too, because of
the lack of police presence, right?
And then I believe the Brighton Chelsea game, the Brighton Crystal Palace game, was also canceled. Had an original reason for it, which was the train strike. But this reason is they're actually using the police from Sussex in London. So that's the reason for that.
Yep.
So there's a partial schedule that we have to figure that out. So we have games Saturday and Friday.
But okay, and we'll get into the European games in a second. But while we're on the topic, Arsenal and PSV's Europa League group stage game on Thursday is also canceled. Okay, all right, fine, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Tottenham and Leicester City at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday in North London is going on. Brentford and Arsenal.
No respect for Spurs.
Brentford and Arsenal on Sunday morning or Sunday noon is being played.
Maybe here's a rationale. Maybe the London stadium that Spurs built is such that it has modern security systems in place where they can flow people with less police.
It's a combination of that, and the requirement isn't as high, right? I just find it weird. I think if the FA, by the way, the UK government gave the FA like the all clear last weekend. And I think if they had a do-over, I think what they would have done was what I had mentioned with Peter Crouch's approach and say, we're going to play this past weekend. We're going to play all the games. And we're going to have a show of everything before every game. And you know what? Do it for the rest of the fucking season. This woman was queen for longer
70.
than like 30% of U.S. history, right? So let her have her Viking funeral the rest of the season. God bless her.
I mean, the thing that's funny is like they did take a knee over and over and over again forever. They did the poppy thing forever. Like it just doesn't seem any rhyme or reason. Anyway, I don't care. We just want games.
But so hold on. So you have the last weekend. You could have played those games, and you could have canceled this coming weekend where the police presence is actually required, right? And so you won't have to worry about
it. Would have just
leads all that stuff. Just
by the way, there's such a political thing here. It's the Diana thing. The fact that they tried not to do it. They tried not to give her a state funeral. Then they did the whole thing for her. They had to like change the protocol because she had been out of the family. And there's no way they would have let Diana had canceled games and have the Queen not have canceled games. That's totally what it is. We know it. They're petty. They're small. That's why they did it.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
They want to make up for how the Diana thing.
The situation that this creates now, right? Nobody is under any illusions. There is a World Cup coming. They're playing every 3 days for the next 2 months. Okay.
It's just going to be there's just going to be bizarre fucking games that show up in the middle of nowhere.
But the season starts again on Boxing Day for all intents and purposes. And so you basically pick up where you left off for every 3 days. And to be quite honest, I have not looked deeper than January.
Well, they're not really scheduled out properly yet. They're just kind of there.
Right.
They moved.
And so there is apparently it looks like, oh no, that's probably an FA Cup break in between January 2nd and January 14th.
Well, what will happen is if someone's out and they have room, they're going to play on that FA Cup weekend.
Well, right. And that's okay. And so the scheduling conflict you've created for yourself, Football Association, is now you have some teams that have to make up 2 games and some teams that only have to make up 1. And
the table's going to be weird all season.
It's going to be a really broken season. It's actually going to be very reminiscent of the first COVID year where there were, it was like West Ham had like 4 more games. Arsenal. Burnley and Arsenal had like so many more. Burnley had more games left, but Arsenal had played like 3 more games than Spurs, and then it was kind of that jockeying for position. It's like, what does this really mean, right? So we're going to kind of be stuck in that mode for a while, which sucks, right? Because
it'll be all right.
If it's fine, but it's so weird that in this strange season we're already in, you don't have. You're just having more complexity. Now, nobody's saying that they killed the Queen and it's their fault, right? But it feels sort of overdone.
We know what the reason was.
Avoidable.
It was the decision they made in 2010 to have this stupid fucking World Cup in the winter.
Sure,
that all of a sudden breaks everything.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is you have that built-in complexity. I think you've done it, all things considered, quite elegantly to this point. And even postponing some of the fixtures last weekend, fine. You're going to make them up on a Wednesday in February or April, whatever. Okay, fine.
It'll be late.
But now you've got, 6 teams with an extra game to make up, right? And so Chelsea and Liverpool and United are in February. They're all going to be playing in Europe still, we think, right? So Brighton and Palace, you guys are going to make up that game, no fucking problem. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. But now you've got United, Chelsea, and Liverpool who are like, Jesus, we got to make up the game from last week somehow. We got to get Chelsea down here.
The logistic thing is interesting though for like Potter, who takes over Chelsea, gets this extra weekend to actually coach the team and figure out what the hell's going on. Figure out, they've got a game coming up.
They don't have a game for a month. Well, they've got the Champions League game.
Yeah, they've got the Salzburg game that's coming up on Wednesday. So Potter gets in there, gets to start his work. Your boys get to have extra rest. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of like a nice might actually help teams,
I mean, it'll help as much as it hurts down the line, I think. But to your point, to dig more in on that Potter thing, they're not going to have a Premier League game for a month. Right. So that is because the international break, the only international break before the World Cup is coming right after this weekend. And so you've got, it's sort of strange, right? Because when Potter got, when Tuchel got fired, you're like, usually you do it as an international break happens, so that you have that 2 weeks to sort of bed in the new manager, get him to, used to things with the new club, the new players, all that stuff. But he sort of has that right now. Chelsea needs to go out and win the Champions League game that they've got coming up against Salzburg, which is it's not a pushover, right? As I said, in 2019, Spurs got nothing from their first 3 games and went to the final. That's not normal, right?
Yeah, Salzburg are tough. They're a run top to bottom club. They have a system in place. It's Rangnick's system, ironically. They almost are a feeder club to RB Leipzig, which is also in the system, connected to Red Bull, connected to, there's a handful of teams. So they do kind of show up as the Austrian league's representative quite often. So, and that's where Haaland came from. He went from there to Dortmund to City.
Yep.
So they have a bunch of guys. Patson Daka is from that team. I believe Sadio Mane played for Red Bull Salzburg. So a lot of good players have come through there. And I think Chelsea should. I really have a lot of faith in Potter. I just think
on their home, fantastic. Which is huge, right? Because part of the reason that the Zagreb game was so difficult is because they're away in a hostile environment.
Although that stadium was half not full. I don't understand what was going on there.
It doesn't matter. It's fucking miserable there. That's why it was half full.
Because they're not allowed in.
Because they're not allowed in. But you've got Milan after this. You got AC Milan coming to your doorstep on October 5th after you play Crystal Palace on October 1st. So this is a baptism by fire for Graham Potter, and it's something that we're going to have to learn a lot about, how he's able. Listen, we said, you are the Graham Potterista of the world, okay? And this is the challenge you've been waiting for him to get.
I have to break up with him, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I can't love him. I want him to succeed, but,
I don't want him
it's
to
over.
Succeed, but I like him, right? But that's the point, is that he's gotten his chance. And boy, oh boy, thankfully for him, he's going to have some time to, like I said, to kind of get in the swing of things.
That Chelsea team,
but that's not an easy start.
That Chelsea team is going to be so freed from Tuchel because he's just going to open it up. He's going to let the offensive players play. They're going to be like, oh, we can pass forward and attack. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love how American stuff is always Pulisic-centric. Pulisic is a squad player. He's nothing.
No. In fact, I was showing my wife the Salernitana Juve highlights, and I went, "Hey, that guy with the stupid haircut, number 8, really fucking dumb haircut, by the way, Weston." I'm like, "That's the best American player." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, he is." Because Christian Pulisic stinks relative to the rest of his squad, where Weston McKennie is a borderline starter for Juve. I think he's in their best 11 for what it's worth, right? But he came off the bench against PSG, changed the whole game.
I like Tyler Adams, but McKennie.
And that's not to speak ill of Aronson or Tyler Adams or anybody else, but I think Weston McKennie is our most talented player at the moment. And
Pulisic's going to play in the U.S. national team no matter what, so it's fine.
Yeah, no.
So tell me about what you got. What do you got for Tottenham going to Sporting?
I don't have a lot of concern whatsoever. This is, look, like I said, this is the easiest Champions League group. You got a 2-0 win at home over a pesky Marseille team, and you got lucky to get that red card. Not so much lucky, but the game was over for all intents and purposes. The worst you were going to do was a draw as soon as that ref pulled the card out of his pocket. You win here, and you should. You got the early game and all that. So, but you win here, you should be able to more or less take your foot off the gas for Champions League. You got 6 points through 2 games. You can be fine. It's not like there's anybody in the group that scares you. And then the next game is going to be, ironically, away to the pot 1 team who stinks, Eintracht Frankfurt. They're terrible, and it's not to speak ill of them really, but as I pull up,
they blew their load. They're just happy to be here.
Of course,
they won the Europa League. They got in here. They shouldn't be here. Frankly.
No, they shouldn't. And so Spurs were given a gift. So that's what I mean. Like if you have the ability to get the win tomorrow, and you should, that means you've already taken 3 points on the road. So you get to play Sporting at home still. You play 2 more games on the road, but the next one is Eintracht Frankfurt. The last game of the group, I believe, is Marseille at home, Marseille on the road, which if you do it right, isn't going to mean shit for you, right? I mean, I'm just going to confirm that real quick, but Marseille Tottenham, November 1st. Nobody fucking cares if you do it right. Nobody cares. Hey, you know, Marseille's going to win that game because Spurs are going to play me and you at center back, and they're not going to bother with it because that's going to be the time where, you know, we talked about it. There are games every 3 days. That's going to be 6 weeks from now, and they're going to be playing every 3 days, save for the international break. So that's going to be a breather for them, hopefully. And so that's what you've got on the line tomorrow. So
after you guys' game is the two big games of tomorrow: Liverpool Ajax at Anfield, and then Bayern Barcelona at the Allianz. Bayern coming in 4 draws in a row, sputtering a little bit. Couple of those draws, they took 30 shots, and guys set the record for saves in the Bundesliga. So their demise is mistaken. Liverpool come in limping and do not get a gimme. Ajax is good. Ajax will come and play. And this is a Stones game for Liverpool. Is it a must win?
No, it's not. Because I guess at home
if they lose at home, they're fucked.
At home it is. You could be annoyed with a draw and still be fine. But what I'll say is this, you know, you said the Bayern's demise, Liverpool's demise, and Ajax's dissension has been greatly over-exaggerated.
I think that this is a game that could not come at the worst time for Liverpool. No Robertson. He's hurt. Thiago's probably 80%, but he's 80% all the time. They still haven't had Salah score a goal. That wasn't a penalty. They're not in good shape, and Ajax are going to play. They're not afraid. Like, if there are two teams that can, like, Liverpool can come and say, we're Liverpool, we're at home, and the Ajax don't have to be afraid. They can go, we're fucking Ajax. Fuck
sure.
you. You know what I mean? There's an institutional strength in being Ajax in Europe that team carries no matter what. They're the Real Madrid of the 5 leagues beneath.
Yep. And I understand.
That matters. Like, I'd kill for City. I'd kill to have the pedigree of Ajax.
Liverpool have not taken the field since that drubbing last week against Napoli. They haven't played against Wolves on the weekend, right? They have had to sit there and stew on it. And I think that as soon as the games this past weekend got postponed, Jurgen Klopp had
blood coming out of their mouths.
Yep. I mean, Anfield is going to be raucous.
It better be. It has to be.
It will.
It has to
because it's a Champions League night. Like you said, Ajax is a big name. They're coming to play us.
It's a clash.
And oh, by the way, Ajax, I watched this game, beat the living fuck out of Rangers, who are literally just there, as we say in Little League, 2 in a barbecue, right? They're out of here. They're done. They're not going to Europa League in 3rd place. They're going the fuck home, right? So,
we don't know much.
You get that. Yeah. You get that. Ajax I'm not saying anything negative about them.
Okay? They just happen to be in the Eredivisie, so you don't know.
No. What I'm saying is,
one doesn't know, not you don't know.
Sure, but they're not giant killers, is what I'm saying. Okay, and by the way, Liverpool currently are not giants.
They beat Real Madrid.
I understand. What I'm saying is this Ajax team. I'm not talking about the history of Ajax. Yeah. Because they beat Juve and they beat who else that year? Barca, right? I think.
Yeah, they beat all of them.
Great, cool. They're not those giant killers. They're a good team.
We don't know. This is the thing about Ajax. We don't know yet. They may have the next Ajax team. You never know.
Put the house on Liverpool. That's what I'm saying.
You can put the house on Liverpool.
I lost the house this weekend in college football.
I'm just saying it's Ajax. You don't know. That's what's so fucking annoying about them.
Watching them, again, it's Daley Blind. It's
I know it's
Steven Bergwijn. Like, who, by the way,
he's good.
Steven Bergwijn, when he goes back to Anfield, he's gonna be shitting razor blades from that time he hit the post and ruined Tottenham's season 2 years ago. Okay, so
yeah, it's Bergwijn and Tadic and Daley Blind, and then
the other guy who sounds like Bergwijn, it's like Bergvorst or something. Berghaus. Yeah, Steven Berghaus and Steven Bergwijn. I was like, wait a minute.
There's a lot of Bergs and houses and Vines. But anyway, I'm going to be watching that game. And then we have Barca Bayern, which is a historically fraught for both teams. both teams have put each other out. Bayern more recently destroyed Barcelona. I think it's like 6. They killed them in the final or semifinal. Barca has got some bad Champions League history over the last 5 years. Where they're just like, what the fuck happened? I think that this Bayern team is younger still. I think the athleticism is too good. You have the Lewandowski thing, which is fun. They're going to cheer.
One side has Lewandowski, and that side is the more likely to win the game. Because
away, I don't know. There's a youth thing. There's Bayern. There's a lot here. Bayern do not come into this game playing well. But, these for teams like Bayern, this is their season. Like, they can't fuck around in the Champions League. Like, it's one thing to fall behind in the Bundesliga with like, yeah, don't worry about it. But they need to show out because a crisis for them is losing to Barcelona in the group stage. We can bounce around.
This will be a leg up thing too because they both had wins in the first match week last week. Who was it? Barcelona beat the hell out of Victoria Plzen, and Bayern got past Inter 2-0. But whoever
they were good in that game.
Yeah, let's just say Barcelona wins the game. Then Bayern is on probably at least +1 goal difference. Inter's probably going to put up a couple on Plzen. So now, after 2 match weeks, yes, you've beaten them, but you're right there even with them, right? So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I think Barcelona's got the edge, but yeah, as you said, that is certainly the game to watch of the midweek Champions League games.
No, I'm going to be watching Liverpool because I'm going to be I'm going to be rooting for Ajax really hard because I love nothing better.
I have a theory. Okay,
than Liverpool losing.
Okay. But hold on a second. You might be losing the forest for the trees here. If Liverpool were to lose,
yes,
all of a sudden, as a friend of mine says, their Champions League hopes will be in crisis.
Yes.
But if that were to happen and they got knocked out of the Champions League, now I think the funniest case is that they finish third in the group and they go to Europa, right? I think we can both agree on that. But let's just say they don't have European games anymore. Are you more worried about them for the league?
No, because I don't think they're good.
Really?
No.
Okay.
But
you're inherently not more concerned with Liverpool for having less games than you would be whether they're good or bad.
They don't have good enough players right now.
Yeah, but you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No,
right?
I understand what you're saying. They'll have an advantage of having less games. Yes.
If what you're saying is true, and I believe that it is, they will get through to the round of 16. They will have to end up playing a two-leg game against
I understand.
the European giant.
You want it. You don't want to be the team that has to play 60 games while your opponents play 38 or 40.
Right. But
yeah, of course.
And so I think, I'm not concerned about Liverpool.
I know. No one thinks that their demise is their demise, but they've been lucky. They've been firing on all cylinders for months and months and months, and they don't have the squad to do it. As much as it's frustrating being a City fan and never knowing what the fucking lineup is going to be and hoping that your guys play, and half the team is pissed off and they want to leave because they don't play the games that they want to play. The fact of the matter is playing everyone plays less than 3,000 minutes. That's just the way City is. Yeah. Jack Grealish is out of the team for the first half of the season. He may be the starter for the second half. There's no rhyme or reason to it. He'll just show up. Everyone's pissed off all the time on the team. Just like, I don't know when I'm going to play.
I would be a great Manchester City player because I am angry all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's just that's the way the team is. The other game, we Potter Ball will begin at home versus the old RB Salzburg. And then my team does play Dortmund. I don't think I'm afraid of this Dortmund. At home, we don't know. Dortmund always has really young guys. Always good to see Reina. Always good to see Jude Bellingham. Always good to see what Dortmund is up to. But they're just never able to grow as a group because by the time the players get good enough and they have a run and they get some experience, they're bought by Bayern.
Yeah.
So, no matter what they do, they just never.
Or Manchester City.
Or Manchester City in our case. Yeah. What do we put? It's our first Bayern.
Yeah.
Wait. No, Ilkay Gundogan we got from Bayern.
I was going to say Gundogan was another one, I think.
A long time ago. But we bought him and he missed the whole season with an ACL.
He broke himself. I remember he was on the NBC coverage. He was so hurt. He's like, I can't even be in the country. I'm like, what?
Yes, exactly.
Not a whole lot. We said to take, I said this in passing. Angela's probably the only one that stayed that long, but that I said take overs. There were a handful of overs last week. I didn't really get into which ones specifically. Napoli and Rangers. Oh man, if Napoli's given 3, take it. Victor Osimhen being out does hurt them a little bit from a rotational perspective. But
I don't know who that.
Gracious,
I don't know who that creepy Georgian is. But when I hear
the guy
Georgians,
with the K's,
whose name is Kavajvili, all I think of is Stalin, and he should nickname himself Stalin because that would be the most badass soccer player name ever. Even if it pisses people off, the years are fading. No one would know. He should just grow a mustache and call himself Stalin. Imagine Stalin down the wing. Stalin down the wing is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
PSG
Stalin
versus,
crosses it.
Would you shut up? PSG versus. This is why we're getting canceled by all the snowflakes that are giving us 1 stars.
Oh no, Stalin for some reason, he murdered millions of people. You can say things about Stalin; it's fine.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hitler,
that's fine.
How dare you?
Yeah, exactly.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start calling people Stalin, and people are like, "Oh, it's okay, thanks."
Oh, he was really effective.
AOC is the Stalin of the 21st century.
Yeah, right. PSG versus Maccabi Haifa.
Oh, that's not going to go well for the Maccabis.
Oh my God, the Qataris want to hurt them, like physically, right? They're gonna make Neymar if you don't score 5 goals, we're gonna kidnap your family.
We're gonna knock down more buildings in Palestine. No, that's not true. I don't mean that at all. That's terrible. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not unrealistic though. And yeah, I mean, I think Spurs are the other team that you can kind of feel pretty comfortable about going in. So, and by the way, you're going to get 1,000,000-to-1 odds on, or minus 1,000,000, I should say, on a PSG or a Napoli game here. What I'm saying is take the over, take the numbers. I don't even know what they are. If Napoli are given 2 goals, take them. If PSG are given 4 goals, take them.
I'm going to look right now on my thing.
We didn't look when we.
I'm going to look right now. Don't worry.
And I'll say that Marseille hosting Frankfurt, we're going to learn if there's any life left in this German body.
Oh, there's going to be rioting. Oh, bet on the over of people going to jail on plus 50. Yeah. Frankfurt versus Marseille, forget it.
Yeah,
that's like prison rules. Did you see they had a conference league battle in Cologne versus Nice. A guy fell off the stands. It was amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he really went over the edge. It was really bad. But they were fighting. There was no one in the stadium. They were just pregame fighting. It was amazing.
Oh yeah. Yep. In the streets.
So, yeah. So we should expect Frankfurt Marseille to not be without rioting. I have a feeling that there will be some. Why can't I fucking?
It's a Category A game, as they say.
Yeah. Filled with violence, and we don't want violence. Well, do we? I don't know. I like the ideas of Germans and French people fighting. They got a lot of pent up.
It's just it brings back memories, right?
Let's see. Tottenham is plus 105, but Sporting is plus 265.
Stop it. Tottenham is plus money?
Yeah.
Well, take out a loan, folks.
On the money line.
Yeah.
Barca plus 275. Bayern minus 120.
Hold on. Wait for the lineup to come out. Because I don't expect, after Saturday having not played, I don't expect for Son and Kane and Richarlison or Kulusevski, whoever, he's going to have a competitive lineup. Just wait for the lineup to come out. Just do me that favor. Before you do anything.
Funny one. Here's the funny one. Borussia Dortmund away plus 1,200.
What?
Against City.
Oh, against City, yeah.
Maccabi plus 1,500.
That feels weirdly not in.
How was Bournemouth plus 3,000?
Well, hold on. Give me what's PSG's number? Well, how many goals are they getting?
PSG is minus 2.5.
Yep,
plus
take
110.
it. Take it. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Napoli and Rangers. What about that one?
That one's not so bad. They don't love Napoli that much. Rangers are plus 330 with getting a half a goal. At home, that's the reason.
Yeah, the Ibrox
at
is
the
fine,
Ibrox,
but
it's
I mean, okay,
it's real.
What about the game you won't shut up about? Liverpool and Ajax.
Liverpool Ajax. Ajax is a plus 425 dog. They're getting a goal, evens.
I would say take Ajax plus 1 because I think that it's Ajax plus 1.
Yeah, it's minus
I think
1.
Liverpool wins, but worst case, you're breaking even.
Yeah, Ajax +1 feels reasonable. Make Liverpool score the goals that they want to score.
Yeah.
City's +2. So they're getting -2 at minus
What's
120.
the over-under in that game?
The over 3.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's 2.5, but yeah, okay. And Juve Benfica, I'm curious because they're a little hungry after this weekend's fracas with my boys from Salernitana.
They're just +125. Benfica's +225. It's almost a pickup.
Yeah, and that's not fun. Okay.
The over 2.5.
Mm.
The one that's tough to. I can't believe that this Dynamo Zagreb is +1,000 against AC Milan. Why is AC Milan that much of a favorite? Is Zagreb that bad?
Well, they're
just
not
beat
home.
Chelsea.
And
I know, but still. Yeah, they did have to do a playoff game to get in. They beat Boda Glind. Burda. Anyway, that's our little bit of going through the Bet365, the betusa.com link. You can find a link in our
This is
show
what
if
happens
you want to join.
when the queen dies and there's no games and we're out of ideas.
That's okay. We stay up, we show up, we get the shows on, we come back on Thursday, we'll do the previews, everything will be there, the Premier League will be back, then we'll have another break, and then we'll be back in action on purpose, out for taking names. We'll grow, like the show, love the show. Send me home, Mr. Mike.
Let's get out of here.
That was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We are the football wing of the Chop Sports Network. We record on Tuesdays and Fridays. So be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. And please keep rating and reviewing the show. We love you. Even if you're mad at us, we still want you to rate and review the show. Thank
I don't love you.
And good night.
Nobody loves you.